Hello, Nick here. Doing a video tonight on some military radios that I have. I just kind of reorganized one corner of one of my listening rooms, and I got all these together. And finally, because they were always like one was one place, one was another, and they kind of needed to be together just as part of the collection, just to look at. And I figured, I want to use them every once in a while just to make sure they work, just because they're cool to play with. So, maybe I can back up. So there's my normal, listening station over there with my premium receivers. And then a doorway here, and then another table. So I didn't want to run a permanent cable, so I just have this temporary cable. And I just string it up and hook it up to this antenna switch when I want to use these. So I've got 5 radios here. There's a Panasonic and a Sony as well. We're not going to mess with those tonight. Obviously, they all work. But tonight we're going to focus on these. So these two are what they call Clansman. They're British radios, and the nickname was Clansman. And this is a 320, and this one is a 321. This was designed for vehicles, Jeeps, stuff like that. And then this is what they call a man pack radio. It came with a frame that you carry around your back. And this one actually has a receptacle for a big whip antenna with a big springy bulb on it, and the whip goes up. The whip is like 8 feet long or something like that. It's ungainly, but it's also got a spot where you can just connect a regular antenna like on a BNC. So does this, and then this one was a PO239. So the antenna part was pretty simple. The power part, these two are 24 volt. So I had to get a 24 volt battery. Then I had to rig power cords with Anderson connectors so that I could put those on a 24 volt battery. And I'll have to share that battery between the two. And then this one is 12 volts. And I did the same thing there. You can see the power cord popping up, sneaking up out of the battery box. So I took the battery out, and then I tapped into the place where the battery touched for positive and negative, and then just ran some wires out, because this is never going to be used as a man pack again. This is just part of my collection. But anyway, let's try to zoom in and see if it even works. So it's like 7:15 or so, 7:11 p.m. Central Time in Dallas. So to turn this thing on, so this switch here, you see where it says Iskilj? Oh, this is Croatian or Yugoslavian, I can't remember. And the model number is RP-4. But through messing around and researching a little, Iskilj means off. So A3J is lower sideband. A1 is upper sideband. A3 is AM. So we're on lower sideband. You can read these are decade switches, and you can read the numbers up here. 3916. And the BFO is zeroed out, dead money on 0. And you're listening to a rag chew. Dead on frequency. Money. Now, there's no typical volume control. There's just the size of the circle means how much volume. So loudest. And then the next one is medium volume, but with a light. So watch up here and then watch underneath here. You might be able to see a light. See that? So that's how you adjust the volume. Here's how you adjust the modes. This is the RF gain. This is the BFO. The decade switch is for tuning. This is an attenuator, so if you flip this, you get 30 dB attenuation. Here's a signal strength meter and a battery check. I'll tell you how much power is left in your battery. Bandwidths. On a military radio, to have selectable bandwidths, I've never seen that before. So you've got 0.3, 3, 5, and then there's a one really small one. I think that says 0.2 1/4 or 0.25 maybe. Yeah, for CW probably. So antenna connections, there's 3 different types. Long wire, looks like some kind of, probably the military whip. And then this is a PL239. And then there's an antenna tuner, like a trimmer, an antenna trimmer. But it's got a 50 ohm position that you can lock in, and then that's where I've got it, and then it works fine. So let's listen to it. Now you got to remember, these were never designed for sitting around broadcast listening. Okay, they were designed to, you know, to speak on, mostly on sidebands and stuff like that. So for output, I have 2 handsets. There's 2 output things, and this thing came with 2 handsets. So I plugged them both in and just wire strapped one on each side, kind of like stereo. So speaker here, speaker here. And then this is the push to talk button. And I don't know if you can see that, but I wedged a piece of black rubber behind the button on each one of these so that you can't accidentally push this. Let me tell you a story. So when I was first starting to mess with these military radios, I was messing with this one up here. And it was the same thing. It had a handset, and that's all I had for the output. And the cord that came with it was really stiff, so if you tried to set the handset down just sideways on a table, it would flip around like a fish on a boat deck. And so it was moving, and I tried to catch it, and so I just picked the handle up, and I accidentally touched the push to talk, just this long. Boom. And it smoked my Wellbrook antenna. Smoked it! So I learned a valuable lesson. So I went out and bought Clansman speakers, one for each of these radios, the British ones. And then this one, I couldn't get a speaker for it, so I just, like I said, I blocked off the push-to-talk buttons on each of these so I don't smoke any more antennas. So, yeah, I just thought you'd get a kick out of that story. I was a real dumbass that day. But it's not the only day. Anyway, so this radio, it's really cool. Let's see if we can zoom in on some of it. But the fact that it's money, it's dead on at 39/16 with the 39/16 with the BFO dead on 0. Now this radio, I don't know if you noticed on the switches, it only goes from 2 to 12. So it goes, so basically 2 megahertz to 11,999. So call it 12. Doesn't go higher, doesn't go lower. So I can't do 20 meters. But let's see. In a couple more minutes, Gander radio is going to be on. And if I remember in a couple minutes, I'll try to tune it in here. But anyway. So before I sign off of this one, let's try some AM. So AM. WWV, let's open the bandwidth. See how it got a little more fidelity in there. Nice. So listen to WWV. The nice thing about these decade switches is they go both ways. The Clansman goes up to 10 and stops, and if you want to go back to 1, you can't go this way. You got to go all the way back. It's a pain in the butt. But the Preacher Man, 9, or is it 9975? Maybe he's not on. Anyway, who cares? We'll set this up for Gander Radio when they pop on at 20 minutes past the hour. And that will be on A1, which is USB. So for now, we're going to turn this off and we're going to switch to another radio. So the 320 is plugged in. So we've got it on AM, because you got CW, SSB, all this stuff. And then here's your on-off switch. So I'm going to go off. I'm going to just put it on the first position. And I got to move the antenna. Okay. Oh, one more thing. I didn't have enough antenna leads, so I got to share this one over here and plug it in. Stand by. There we go. So all these are on the Wellbrook. I don't know if you can see that. Can you read those decade switches? So before this battery goes dead, let's try 3916 lower sideband, see if I can even get it. Lower sideband, and then I gotta bring this around to the, it's like a, come on, say something. So the Clansman, I found this out by watching other videos. On sideband, you have to tune it off 200. So you have to move this dial to be on frequency. And that must be, maybe that's for the transmit offset or something like that, but it's built in to the radio. Alright, so let's put this one on, back on 10. Oh, what a chore with these decade switches. So that's, there's Gander Radio. Coming in good. I can hear it. I don't know if you can. let's go back to this one. Am I missing something? Antenna. A1. That's WWV. Wonder why we can't get this. Oh well. Alright, so let's try to quickly hook this one up over here. So this last one has some cool tuning motors. Change the antenna real quick and put the antenna back on here. Switch the antenna over. Okay, so turn this one on. So we got it on receive only. We've got it on ten. 53 because of the offset. Then we turn on here. You gotta wait for the tuning motors to click in. Listen. All right, 1 a.m. Every time you tune it, you listen to these tuners. There it is. And if you can read, I'm gonna have to tilt this, I think. Maybe you can see it. So it says 10053 because remember it's got a 200 hertz. What is that? 200? 051 is so it's offset built in. So you have to add those the 2 clicks on the last knob, second or last knob. And then this one, this acts as a signal strength meter until you hit the battery age. This says 28, but it's running on 24, so it should be in the white when I press this button. There we go, right in the center. So yeah, so these Clansmen are pretty cool. They're tough as nails. The guy shipped this radio weighs 50 pounds, and it's only, I think it's 9 inches wide and maybe 12 inches long. it's not that big, but it weighs 50 pounds. Okay, it's the case is made out of like 1/8-inch steel. Well, anyway, the guy that shipped it to me from Canada, he just took the radio and put it in a cardboard box. No insulation, nothing. Got beat, got dropped. This corner was all the way bent in. All the corners were beat to death. Like this one was like bent all the way in. I had to bend it with a hammer back out. And I plugged it all in, and I'm like, oh, I hope this thing works. Boom. Makes its weird noises, fired right up. So I was very happy about that. Let's come back to this sucker and see if we can make this thing work. Antenna still hooked up? Yes. Battery? Yes. I can still get WWV. There's WWV. 10.0.5.1. There it is. It's not liking that tonight. AM. Interesting. Let's just try some Radio Havana real quick. I can hear it, barely. 6030. And this one, let's look at the meter. So I'll turn the light on for this one. Alright. This switch, so right now it's on VF, which V corresponds to the V down here from the RF gain. So that's your like an S meter. NF turns it to N corresponds to the, maybe you can see it over here. Where does it say N? This one, NF for volume. See, it says volume. That course, that's like a line meter now for voice, and it bounces with voice. I don't know what those two suckers are, but the bottom one says 12 volts, and it shows you how much your battery's got in it. And our battery looks really good. See that? And you put it back on S meter. Let's flip the attenuator. It's really quiet. And then, like I said, that's RF gain. That's the BFO. At least leave that centered. Wide bandwidth. So let's, what can we listen to? I can't listen to any medium wave because this one doesn't go below 2 megahertz. This one doesn't go below 1.8 megahertz. And this one doesn't go below, I think, 1.5 megahertz. So they won't go lower than that. Even though you could tune it on the dials, it just doesn't do anything. Because, like I said, they're military radios and never designed to be down in there. So, but yeah, 3 cool radios. I have fun with them. On occasion, you just feel like firing them up and playing with the switches. Still curious why I couldn't get 10051 on this bad boy, so I'm going to have to monkey with that. It was getting that sideband signal perfectly. So, and I can't test it on 20 meters because it doesn't go up to 14 megs. So, anyway, I'll monkey with it some more. But just thought you guys would get a kick out of this like I get a kick out of this. And that's it. Thanks for hanging out.